Okay, we're going to go live. We're going to go live. We're going to have a very brief pregame show. Very brief pregame show. I did a double boot, so we shouldn't have the chipmunk voice. We seem to have cured that issue. And let me see if I can find this video on my trusty iPad. There it is. Live. We're going to go live. And yes, we've got good audio. We've got good audio in the house. Mike is in the house. I'm not sure it's the best driver ever, but it is the diver that has seen more airtime than any other Mike in the house. You think so? You think more than I don't think more than a Submariner. Submariners have gotten a lot of airtime. Stig's in the house. Good evening, Craig. Maybe on this channel it's gotten more airtime, but not that many people watch this channel, so there's that. Lance is in the house. He says, hello, Craig, and we'll address that, by the way. We're going to address that issue. Stig's in the house. Lance is all over the place, and Kyle's hanging out. So, yeah, we got another emergency broadcast, and it's a lazy broadcast. You can always tell a lazy broadcast when I do a part two. I just I reuse the thumbnail and the description and everything and just make it a part two. And I'm wearing the 231 diver on wrist. And I'll tell you what, I was looking at this the other day, and I was looking sideways like this. And I was looking at how it rests on the wrist and how it cradles the wrist. And I was saying, you know, this is really a stunning watch. It really is. They really did a great job with the flow of the case and with the way the bracelet connects to the case, the fact that it's a 22 millimeter lug width, just the right amount of bling on the bracelet, and the really robust looking, industrial looking clasp. I like the fact that it has a super no nonsense industrial looking clasp. I think they just nailed it. And of course they've been making this same watch for many years now, probably with good reason, because they probably can't really improve on it much. And a lot of people say that it has a sapphire bezel, but it does not. It's not a sapphire bezel, but it looks great. You can see here, it looks great. And what's neat about it is it's super legible. The 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 on there is just jumps right out at you. It's just super freaking legible. I would argue more legible than the indices on a sub, on the bezel on a sub. I would argue more legible, and of course this goes all the way around to 50, and I like that. I like the fact that it has the numbers all the way around, because if you rotate it and use it as a timer, you want to have those indices, you know, marked off like that, so you know exactly where you are. But heaven forbid a watch actually be practical, right? Heaven forbid that it actually be something that you want to wear and use, and that it be like super accurate and extremely robust and actually somewhat affordable, and you can actually go into an AD and actually buy one. Can you imagine all that happening? But alas, Steve is telling me there are starting to be some shortages. Kyle says Bezos passed 200 billion today. The rich are getting richer. Absolutely, a ton of money is being funneled to the rich. This is what happens when the government does these so-called bailouts, right? The rich somehow figure out a way to get their hands on the lion's share of the money. That's how that whole thing works. And Amazon, he's brilliant. I mean, he plays these politicians like a fiddle. So what he does is he he says, okay, we'll go ahead and give them the minimum wage. We'll raise the minimum wage to $15. But all of our competitors, everybody else has to raise theirs to $15 too, right? So what this does is it cripples his competitors, because his competitors can't afford to pay it, because they can't afford to automate the way he is. He's automating like big time, Bezos, right? So he can get rid of employees, right, and have less employees and pay the ones that remain $15, and he's good, right? Meanwhile, his competitors are being wiped out. Between that and the COVID thing is wiping out a ton of his competitors, right? Yeah, Jeff is he's in good stead. He's in good stead. They're clear cutting his competitors, just wiping them right out. I'll tell you what, that's what when Rockefeller built Standard Oil, that's what he did, right? He wiped out all his competitors. Of course, he got the government to help him with that as well. That's what happens is these guys get the government to help them out because you ultimately need badges and guns. If you really want to take over and you want to have a complete monopoly, you've got to have the badges and guns on your side. So you've got to have a corrupt government to go along with you, and that's what Bezos does. He plays them like a fiddle. What's your take on the teaser from Rolex, Craig? New sub. That's a good question. I haven't really looked at it, but yeah, I've heard some people talking about that. I hope they fix the sub. I hope they fix the sub. But I don't think they can come out with something that'll match this 231. I really don't think they will. I don't think they will. First of all, I don't think they're going to make something in titanium. Second of all, I don't think they're going to come out with a movement that's as accurate as this one. So, yeah, that's going to be the way that whole thing's going to go down. So this will still be the king. The 231 Stunner will still be the king. Okay, so let's get into this. I get these comments from time to time, and we'll show Brianna while I'm making this. There's Brianna. He's going to get all, this guy that made the comment's going to get all bent out of shape, right? Because he made this comment, derogatory comment about the channel. He says, who's this girl or whatever, that's on the show or whatever, and that I see videos on the channel. I don't know if he was talking about Audrey or Brianna or who he's talking about, right? But he basically, what's this channel all about? I thought it was just watches or whatever, and he's all bent out of shape. And I said, listen, I've got a trailer on my channel here that kind of explains what the channel's all about. And it even shows some friends of mine from down in Sarasota, one that won a bikini contest down there. It even shows her. She's in the trailer, right? Talking about it and wearing a bikini, right? And so if he doesn't want to see things other than watches, and particularly attractive females, then he probably shouldn't watch this channel given that trailer, right? And given the fact that we talk about whatever the heck I want to talk about, and I block trolls, so he'll probably get blocked anyway if he comes in here and starts trolling. So it's interesting. It's interesting that these people feel like they've got to straighten me out and tell me what I'm doing wrong on my channel, or otherwise they're going to leave or whatever they're going to do, right? And I'm like, here's this guy with no subscribers. He's got a generic icon, right? He's got the little circle, generic, right? And he's clueless, and he's broke, and he's in his mom's basement, and he's going to give me tips on how to run my channel. So yes, we will feature the lovely Brianna, briefitdance.com, and we'll promote her and so on. And if he doesn't like that, then yeah, move on. There's millions, literally millions of channels. There are literally millions of channels. How many channels do you guys think there are on YouTube? Can somebody put in the chat your best estimate of how many channels there are on YouTube that this guy can go and watch? And I don't even know if I can bring this comment up. Where is the comment? Maybe I can find it. Maybe I can find it. Is it? I probably won't be able to find it. I'll take one more shot at a search here. I don't know if I may have, okay. Yeah, I think here it is. Okay, I think it's here. Give me a second here. And This thing is spooling.
We'll show
Watching color while I try to find this. Okay, let me stop this. Da, 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 da. Okay, so here's his comment. Okay, so here's his comment, Scott. Okay, generic icon and all. I've watched a few of your vids now, and I feel like I might be watching something illegal, or I don't know. I mean, I first watched your video explaining why it's so dumb to service watches, and what a breath of fresh air that was. I just couldn't agree more. And I'm shocked by all the watch channels on YouTube all talking about the service costs of this and that. Servicing watches is the dumbest waste of money and time. All right, that said, I then moved on to see what other vids you had, and then came the confusion. I see a bunch of vids with a beautiful young lady, and I don't know which one he's talking about, Audrey or Bree, probably one of the two. I'm afraid to even ask what that's all about. Please explain to me what this channel is and what it really is in plain terms, as I'm all sorts of confused. Is this what white privilege is? Is the young lady, is she okay? I mean, who is she? Why does she bounce around on your channel so much? You are a very smart guy, and I find myself agreeing with just about everything you say, but then I mean, I'm a dedicated husband and father. Is she a friend of your daughter? Why is she on your channel? I just, okay, so first of all, and here's my reply. I have a trailer on my channel that explains what viewers can expect. In short, this channel is about whatever I feel like featuring and talking about. If you don't like my content, there are millions of other channels you can watch. To learn about Brianna, see briefitdance.com. That's in case that's who he's referring to. And he was so rude that he didn't even bother to mention the person by name that he's referring to. You know, and then he implies that there's something illegal about featuring Brianna and or Audrey, or I don't know, whoever else he would be talking about. And why is it any of his business how these people are related to me or not related to me? So anyway, I'm leaving the comment up. If he trolls more, he will get blocked, as we all know. But we're transparent on this channel. And this is why I have a trailer on the channel showing what I do. And it's all G-rated, family-friendly content, right? But I have a trailer that shows the kind of content, product reviews, event coverage. I featured Audrey in that video. Bree's not in it. Maybe we should do a new one and get Bree in there. But I think we're pretty clear what content people can expect. So, yeah. All right, so let me catch up on the comments here. Okay. Craig, I sent you some pictures of the SBGX218. All right, we'll take a look. And Bree Fit Dance says hello all. Speaking of the lovely Bree. Stupid comment time, Jipu. He can't handle seeing beautiful women. That's for sure. G-Poop, maybe his wife would hit him over the head with a frying pan. Maybe that's the problem. He's getting beat by his wife. G-Poo's in the house. Cheetown says, poor guy was very confused as he hasn't seen a female in years, says Cheetown. Mustang Will says, hello all. G-Poo says, Craig, you should have a stupid comment of the day segment every stream. Well, I don't get them every day, but yeah, when I do, I sometimes feature them. But fortunately, thank goodness, I don't get stupid comments every day. Probably like 1 billion, something big, LOL, says Bree. 1 billion channels. That's good. Mustang Will's saying hi to Clive. He thinks it's the real Clive. Stig's in the house. Lady Brianna. Do never let these bad people discourage you from what you are doing so brilliantly. Oh, thank you, Stig. Absolutely, Bree. Thank him. That's right. Bree's not going to let the trolls get to her. I can tell you that right now. She is not going to worry about what the trolls say. She is on a mission. Leon says, I just watched you a few folks living the van life in Canada, a guy in Canada that camps out in random places, little treasury and music videos from the 80s. There you go. All right. Well, I hope you're going to watch Bree's channel as she gets it going. I hope you're going to watch her, Leon. Let's see. That'd be a good mix. By the way, if you like the random stuff, that Bus Grease Monkey channel is it's a cool channel. He's kind of a cool guy. He brings back to life these old vehicles that have been sitting for many, many years, and he gets them started, and they drive them, and it's pretty wild. This comment was on the last stream. It was on, it was, I think it was yesterday's show. Where's the date? How come I don't see the date on this? Well, that's silly. Oh, August 25. Yeah, there's the date. Yeah. Yeah, that's when it was. August, this show here. Yeah. So go troll him. Let's see. Let's see here. What we got here? Yeah, that's me. He wishes his wife looked like Bree. Yeah, like I say, she probably hit him with a frying pan. You know, when he noticed he was checking out Bree, she probably cold cocked him. He's probably in a lot of pain. Craig, one can always skip the bits they don't want to see. Well, they can skip the whole channel. What they can do. There's other channels out there. Dogman's got a show today. Okay. That guy Scott is just looking for attention, says Lance. Wow, that guy must be a major beta soy boy, the kind male feminist that beautiful women are repulsed by. That's a good point. Yeah, I wonder if he's a ladies' man. Probably not, right? Leon's in the house. I could do with a little less Toyota talk on your channel, though. 20 years ago, Toyota made good cars, but they are mediocre now. After the turd Toyota I bought it new. No more Toyotas for me. Well, see, mine's 14 years old, so maybe that's why mine is still a good one. Maybe I bought mine at the tail end of the good ones. It's an oldie but a goodie, so I'll just keep mine and keep driving it. I have a theory on that. 2004 Toyota Prius. That was the first year of that new body style where they made it really more of a mainstream car. And I think they really took their time and did it right. They made it in Japan. All of them were made in Japan. And I think they took their time and they did them right. I think they did the same thing with the 1990 LS400 Lexus. That was the first Lexus they brought to this country. And I think they really took their time and did that right. I had one of those. And it was a fantastic car. So I think you're right. Some cars are better than others. Even when you talk about Toyota, some are going to be better than others. Very good point on the channel. Thank you for bringing that up so we can address that. Let's see. The Port TGV 2020, it's Dogman, we all know. Okay. Okay. Okay, we're going to check the email from Kyle. Reminds me of these yumokes who go on Paul Thorpe's videos about avoiding watch scams and robbery warnings and whine and scream about how he's not spoon-feeding them happy, positive content. Let's see. Carlos is in the house. Now, talk about a class act. Carlos is in the house. He brings a lot of class to the channel. Mike's in the house, and he says, any thoughts on what Rolex may come out with September 2nd? No, but I hope they fix that super case and make it a little less super. That's the way I see it. Okay, let's look at these. Videos. Photos. Oh, look at this. Do tell. Look at this. Very, very interesting. Very interesting. That is stunning. That looks like a Kyle piece to me almost. Very, very interesting. Very, very interesting. I say, let's get some more information on that. What else do we know about that watch? Anybody chime in? What else we know about that watch? That is interesting. Oh, it's a video. New watches 2020. Okay, so let's look at this teaser together here. See if we can play this. All right, that's it. So that's the teaser. Doesn't really show us much though. I hate to break the news to you guys. All right, let's see what Lance has, and we got one more email to check. And that's the other thing. This is an interactive live show. We pretty much talk about what the viewers, the live viewers, want to talk about most of the time. Most of the time. So, pretty cool. Pretty cool watch. Nice case shape. Some people aren't going to want this stamped. And it looks like it's got hollow end links. Yeah, that looks like those are hollow end links. So, yeah. It would have to be a pretty good price in my... yeah, I don't think that's a good enough price. I think it has to be a little lower than that. That's what I'm thinking. I think maybe more like down around 4,000 or 3,500-ish. What do you guys think about that? Let's see. All right, let me see what else we got here in the way of email. Stuff Leon sent me. Okay. Here we go. Interesting. Interesting. I have a Grand Seiko hat that I've not worn that I will bring to the next event that Steve has, and somebody will get it. Somebody will get it. Okay. All right, for now, we're caught up on the emails. Let me catch up on the chat here. My Lexus... Okay. My Lexus ES300 is made in Kyushu, Japan, and it's fantastic. There you go. Craig, are the pins and collars awkward to deal with on the 231? I don't think so. I think if you have the right tools, they're not that bad to deal with, and you should only have to do it once because it has micro adjustments on the clasp. So you should only have to deal with the pins and collars once. And I can do it myself. I can't deal with the tiny little screws on the screws that they have on the Grand Seiko bracelets. Those tiny little screws that I had on my 005, for example. I even my smallest screwdriver, I couldn't get those to, I didn't want to strip them, so I couldn't mess with those. But I could deal with the pins and collars on the Snowflake and on this watch. So, yeah, I find them no problem. And there are huge advantages to having the pins and collars. Less wear and tear on that center link because the whole thing floats. The whole pin and collar floats, freewheels in there, right? As opposed to a screw which is fixed, which then the center link rubs on, right? And that's what gives you stretch in bracelets. So it is a better system. And it isn't going to back out like a screw can potentially screw back out, right? And you can even lose a watch that way. There have been stories of people losing watches that way, especially if you're on a boat and it comes loose. That does not end well. So yeah, I do like the pin and collar system. I really do. Clive, Skype in the show today. Yeah, that's not the real Clive. Leon says the best made Camry was the 1992 to 96 Camry. It could not it could not beat out the Taurus for number one. The 97-01, the worst made Camry ever, was number one in sales. Okay. And let's see. Lance says, Craig, what are your thoughts on the new TRD Camry? I don't like the looks of a lot of the newer Toyotas and or Lexus. I think they screwed up a lot of the grills on a lot of them. They look kind of funky, but I haven't looked that one over, so I really can't comment on that particular one. So yeah. Triforce Rich says, hi Craig, just opened up the package, sent you an email. Okay, I think we just looked at that. Craig shot down me getting a Lexus GS 460, lol. Yeah, I would get a, do you really need an SUV, Jaden? Why don't you consider an LS 460, the big sedan? That would ride a lot nicer, especially on trips and things like that. It would be such a joy to drive. You know, SUVs, you know, they have a high center of gravity. They don't handle as well. They're not as quiet. I mean, there are a lot of advantages to a high-end sedan. And the good news is nobody else wants to buy them, so you can get them. You can get a really good deal on them. You can get like a cream puff, like a 50,000-mile one-owner stunner, for a really good deal. A buddy of mine who really knows cars bought one. He lives down in Florida, Dave Sirio. He bought a white one, and he loves it, an LS 460. I liked the LS 430 as well. Now, the 430 is not going to have like the modern Bluetooth and stuff like that. You're going to have more of the modern conveniences if you step up to an LS 460. But that would be the last one that I would get, would be an LS 460. I don't know what the last year was they made those. Maybe somebody can chime in the chat on that. But that would be the way I would go, absolutely. Cheetown's in the house. A front-wheel drive mid-size Camry sedan with a spoiler on the back is just silly. Sorry. Was that a quartz watch, the gold GS? Yeah, we want more information on that gold GS. Please, more information. It is stunning. Cheetown in the house. GX 460 is an excellent SUV based on the 4Runner. Okay, and Stig in the house. My Toyota is 1997, made in Japan, and is still going strong. There, absolutely, that's the way to do it. But see, I think a lot of people buy SUVs that really don't need an SUV. I think that, you know, unless you need that, you need four-wheel drive and all those kinds of things. I think the 460, the LS 460, is a much better play. A much better move. Deport TGV 2020 can't stop wearing the 005. It's a vicious cycle because my mechanical watches need to be wound and set, whereas the 005 is always ready to go. Yeah, and it's stunning, and it feels great on the wrist, and it looks great. And did I say it's stunning? So why not? Why not wear it? Kevin says, you would think they would do something for Datejust. It's the 75th anniversary of Datejust? That'd be cool. That would be cool if they did something. Okay. Michael says, regarding the SBGX218 I sent you, it has the following specs. 9F movement, 18 karat yellow gold, width is 35.5 millimeters, thickness 11.3 millimeters, 100 meter water resistance, push pull. I'll tell you what, I would consider that watch if I wanted an all-arounder. I would consider that piece. Let's see if we can find it again here. What happened to it? Give me a second here. Let's pull this up again. I think, yeah, I mean, as an all-arounder, how cool would that be? And I'll bet you it has pins and collars in that bracelet, which means it will last longer. It won't have as big a problem with separation because of the free-floating pins. that would definitely be a thing. I wonder where they can be bought and what the pricing is. Can somebody look into that? Now, I don't need the date, but it's there, so okay, so be it. I would kind of rather not have the date, but I think that could be a stunning all-around piece. Because 100-meter water resistant with just a push-pull crown, that's going to be fine for just swimming and you know, day-to-day stuff. That's going to be fine, I'm sure. And the 9F is super robust. Yeah, I think it's cool. Let's see, the Port TGV 2020, you have an 005 like Craig. Okay, let's see. I sold mine. I don't have my 005 anymore. I basically benched it and then sold it for the 002. The 002 was my replacement for the 005. Our Wags is in the house. Hey, Chip and everybody. Sorry, a little late. Wild day in the stock market. Don't get in front of a moving train. Yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah, Bitcoin pumped a little bit today. Also, I think it was up over 10,500. No, I'm sorry, 11,500 earlier. It looks like it's right at 11,500 right now. So it has been volatile. The people that like to trade, big movements, they can if they've got the timing down, they can do all right on all this volatility. I'm not a trader myself, but I did trade a few times in GBTC. Did make a few trades there, a few moves. Sometimes it's just so tempting, you know, you have to. So let's see. I heard Patek Philippe baseball caps are made in China. Probably Brief Dance. Also, I uploaded a hooping video on my channel if you'd like to check it out. There you go. Well, you know you're welcome to Skype in and talk about it if you'd like, young lady. You're always welcome. And Clive's in the house. Let's see. 1990s Toyota equals legendary. I still love watching Motor Week videos of those cars. Okay. I had a 1996 Corolla. It was a 5-speed with air, you know, base model Corolla that I just had as like a runaround car. And that was a fun little car. And then a salesman that was working for me, I gave it to him and he drove it and he ended up wrecking it or something. I forget what happened to it, but anyway, that was that. But that was a good little car. And I had a couple of Camrys. I had a 2002 Camry that was fine. It didn't give any trouble. Didn't have it that long. Had it a couple of years. And that's when I got the 2002 LS430, about the same time frame. So I had the LS430 and I had a Camry. And yeah, I've never had a problem with any Toyota or Lexus. So there you go. Leon says, my Rolex OP just dropped off. My Rolex Oyster Perpetual was just dropped off at Little Treasury for servicing. Bad rotor axle, the Achilles heel of the Rolex 31 series movements. I will let Little Treasury fix it rather than send it to Rolex New York City. What did they say? What did they say the turnaround would be, and what's the price going to be? Do tell. I like this kind of inside information because they won't tell me. They won't give me the inside information. So we like that kind of information on the channel. We like real information on this channel. We don't like to make stuff up like a lot of channels do. A lot of channels make stuff up. Have you ever noticed that? Carlos is in the house. It seems that I am going to be able to flight back to Panama next week, but I will have a mandatory quarantine of 2 weeks with $50,000 fine if I do not comply. Well, you probably have all the locals on your payroll anyway, so it's not going to be a problem. You can work out all those details. What he left out was he's probably flying in on a private jet. So there's that. Joe's in the house, hoping to get a GS for my 50th. I have a couple of Sarbs. Okay, good move. Carlos says, I'm looking forward to being confined in my house. Well, you have a beautiful place to be confined in, I would say. I would say that's not really suffering. Let's see. Triforce says, Carlos going to build more Gompla. That's that thing. Okay. Absolutely. Keytown, let Leon, why was the 97 to 01 Camry the worst? Was it due to engine sludging issues? And we're getting into some technical stuff here. Carlos says at least 2 more. Okay. I have 3 kids and like to do outdoor activities too. Well, you can carry a lot of stuff in that trunk, and you can certainly carry 3 kids in a Lexus LS sedan. It's a big sedan. So when you say outdoor activities, do you think you need the 4-wheel drive? If you need to go that way, I would buy a Land Cruiser and call it a day. If you really need off-road capability, I'd do it right and get a Land Cruiser. And maybe you get lucky, you can find a 10-year-old Land Cruiser in really good shape, garage kept, that was only used to go to the shopping mall, right? That was never off-roaded or anything like that. One in mint condition. Maybe you can snatch that up, but they are hard to find at a decent price. They have really good resale value, unfortunately. The opposite is true with the LS sedan. The LS sedans you can get for a great deal because nobody wants them. And I think those people are crazy. I think that's what they should get. Okay, so Jaden, GS460 would be a great choice for you. Now, is the GX460, that's not the one that's the Land Cruiser chassis, right? If I get the Lexus, I would get the one that's on the Land Cruiser chassis. I forget the nomenclature on that one, but that's definitely what I would get. Go for the Land Cruiser chassis. R. Wags is in the house. Carlos, you're living in a dictatorship, unbelievable control of your freedom. Hello, TL. I am starting to have some appreciation to you. Okay. Leon says, Cheetown, sludging, poor build quality, rust, felt cheap compared to the 92 to 96. The yen was sky high, so Torto went cheap on the 97 to 01, and it shows. Interesting inside information there. Lance is in the house, and he says, hello, Trashy. Cheetown, 2017 was the last year of the V8 LS 460. They went V6 twin turbo after that. Yeah, that's what I would get then. I would get the 2017 or 2016, something like that. Get one in mint condition, garage kept, and get it for a song. That's what I would do. I would do that. Get like a $70,000 car for about 20 grand. That'd be a good move, right? What do you guys think about that move? Let's see. Cheetown, I have the ES300 from that generation. It's been fine for me, but I try to stay diligent on oil changes. There you go. R-Wags, and now it's Carlos. Come to think of it, probably have the same quarantine rules in the United States. Oh, there you go. Lance says, Trashalier, he doesn't trust you. Trump 2020 says, Clive. Tell you what, they're putting on some well-produced content in this in their convention, whatever you want to call it, right? By the way, who can say what pen is in my pocket right now? Who can guess first what pen is in my pocket? Again, I'm wearing something that would match this better, right? So let me know. What do you think? Who can guess what pen is in my pocket? Craig Dogman is seriously trimming down his collection, pushing him to go all in and reduce his collection to a 3-piece rotation. Well, that would be smart. Or maybe even 2-piece. Two really powerful pieces trumps 15 marginal pieces. Carlos is in the house. R-Wags, I hope to be in the U.S. at time to celebrate Trump's second term. There you go. How much is that gold GS? Yeah, that's what we're trying to find out. We're trying to find out where we can get that gold GS and what the price is. Kyle wants the price. Carlos, we can only pray that happens for the sake of our country. Triforce Rich, Dogman is broke. Carlos, will you wear a MAGA hat? Kyle says, I didn't send it in. I'm trying to find that info as well. Let's see. Leon says, SUVs especially. Do you have the model number, Kyle? Let me show that again so you can get the model number. Where is the model number? Hold on. Oh, it's a SBGX218. SBGX218. Just to make sure on that. In case anybody wants to know. Leon says, SUVs, especially the smaller ones like the Ford Escape, are so easy to get in and out of. I crack my head against the pillar of my Elantra at least twice a week. Well, the LS 460 has nice big doors. It's going to be easy to get in and out of. I mean, that's a luxury sedan. They're no joke. They're not a little car. They're a nice, roomy, full-size sedan. Let's see. The SBGX218 is on Chrono 24 for a little under $25,000. Whoa. Yeah, I figured they'd be pricey with that bracelet, but maybe somebody can find one on eBay or something like that for a lot cheaper. Somebody's trying to hit a home run on that on Chrono 24, it looks like. What I would do is I'd do a saved search on that on eBay and see if one pops in at a decent price and then snag it before anybody else does. That's what I would do. I love the saved search feature where they'll send you an email if somebody lists something and then you can jump on it. I've gotten some deals that way. Craig, have you heard of the Hyundai Equus? It's about the same size as the Lexus LS with a 4.6 liter V8. No, I haven't, but I have heard that some of their cars are actually pretty decent, but I don't know that I would take the chance. So Leon says, Craig, you kicked the 005 to the curb. An old friend was tossed by the wayside due to a shiny new toy. I'll tell you what, that 002 was beguiling, no doubt. It was beguiling. It definitely will seduce you. You see one of those in person. You ask Kyle, he's seen one in person. You ask him how beguiling that puppy can be. He'll tell you. He's got good eyesight too, a lot better than mine. He'll tell you what the deal is. Craig, how does it feel to simplify your watch rotation to 2 stunners? Well, I've usually, most of the time I've had that. I've had a 2-watch rotation most of the time over the last 40 years. There's been a few times I've had a couple other watches, but generally speaking, it's been a 2-watch rotation, a sport watch and a and the Date 8, which was kind of like a dress / all around, right? So that was my rotation for the longest time. Kyle says, thanks, Michael. Let's see, Leon, I had a 1996 Corolla that I used as a winter beater, and it had rust everywhere, but the dang thing kept running well. Yeah, they're pretty bulletproof, but like you say, they will rust out. Craig, would you consider getting another Lexus LS? Yes, absolutely, I would. Absolutely, I would get an LS 460 in a heartbeat. The only reason I sold my LS 430 is it was hard for me to put the Segway in the trunk, to lift it up over and put it in. So I wanted something with a hatchback that I use 2 ramps, and I'm able to shoot the Segway right up in the back of my Prius, and it's just so convenient when I'm going to events and things like that. To load and unload the Segway is so easy. And also any of my camera gear and stuff like that, it's just very practical. And the thing about the Prius is it's so quiet because it's so aerodynamic. It's very quiet. It rides nice. I was surprised when I drove that because I thought it was going to be a big step down from the LS sedan. And of course it is a step down, let's face it. It doesn't ride as nice and so on. But it wasn't a huge step down. It was very impressive for what it was. The ride of it and everything is very nice. So so that's the only reason why I sold the LS and got the Prius, was really the Segway. So if I ever stop using the Segway or whatever, I would go back to an LS sedan. Why not? Why not, I say. One problem is any of these cars cannot be flat-towed behind a bus. So that's one problem that I have. When I get my next motor coach, I'm probably going to have to get something that I can tow behind the coach. And I'll probably end up getting a Suburban, Chevy Suburban. Because that way I can carry a lot of stuff in that also, and I can tow it behind the bus. If it's a four-wheel drive, you can flat tow most of those without any real modifications. So that's probably what I'll have to do. Can't flat tow a Toyota Land Cruiser. If you could, I'd get one of those. But it's just very difficult. You just can't really do it, practically speaking. Let's see, the newest Lexus LS, I believe it launched in 2018, is very ugly compared to the prior generation. Absolutely, you're absolutely correct. I think the Lexus Land Cruisers are the LX line. Yeah, I think you're right on that too, Kyle. And yeah, I'd get the ones before they uglied them up. Leon's in the house. I don't know yet. Price rides. The watchmaker is off-site and had to pick it up. I will know either tomorrow or Friday the cost and the full issue. It will take 2 weeks for service. Yeah, let us know. Let us know when you get all the details. Cheetown Craig, GX460 is based on the same chassis as the 4Runner. It's called the Land Cruiser Prado in most other countries. Yeah, I would go with the LX line. That's I think the way I would go on that. Get the real heavy duty beast. Why not? Cheetown, Kyle, I've sat in the new generation LS and it's a beautiful vehicle inside. Well, I'm sure they're great vehicles. But the LS 460 is great inside too, and you got a vehicle that's a lot better looking, and you're going to get it for a lot less money. A lot less money. Our Wagons in the house. Craig sent you a picture of my Land Cruiser. It's a hoot to drive. Gets lots of attention. Okay, let's take a look. We will take a look. Oh, yeah, a Hummer. That's right. Yeah, that's not exactly a Land Cruiser, but yeah, you could probably drive over top of a Land Cruiser with that. Maybe. Yeah, that's a beast. Talk about a beast. I don't think I'd buy another GS that isn't a spring drive, says Kyle. Okay. I missed my 1995 Caddy DeVille. They say never buy a cheap Luxo car. I paid $1,200 for it, and it only cost me $1,000 over the 5 years I owned it, not counting gas and oil change. Well, you got lucky. Good move. You did good. Kevin's in the house. 2016, 2017 is 460 are in the $40,000 to $45,000 range. Really? Well, you might need to go a couple years older. Go a couple years older. They depreciate pretty fast. So I'm surprised, though, that they're that much. Interesting. Of course, you'll do better if you buy a one-owner car, garage-kept car out of Craigslist or something like that. And don't buy it from a dealer, right? Don't pay the dealer markup. So there's that. Clive is in the house. What year did you buy that? 1995. Okay. Leon says, I've seen the 002 in person at Little Treasury. It was good looking, but not enough to kick an old friend to the curb. Oh, okay. Interesting. Should I sell my 20-year-old day date and buy a brand new 2020 date chest? Not if your day date's in decent shape. Heck no. I wouldn't step down from a day date to a date chest. I wouldn't do it. Clive says, Scott, I buy and sell. What are you asking for? Okay. Cheatown, California. Craig, can you flat tow a Lexus LS behind a motor coach? No, I don't think so. Nope. That's the problem. Not without some serious modifications. Lance is in the house. Craig, would you buy the Lexus CT200H? It's a Lexus version of the Prius. Probably not. I don't think I'll buy another car like that because my car is fine. My car, will run probably for the foreseeable future. It's extremely reliable, and of course I keep it in the garage and keep it maintained perfectly, so it'll probably last me indefinitely. Probably the only next car I will get is whatever I'm going to have to get to tow behind the coach, because I can't flat tow that. So I'll probably have to get something to tow behind the coach. I used to have a Toyota pickup with a 5-speed manual pickup, 2-wheel drive. You can flat tow those, just put them in neutral and go, right? It was an older one, and that was great for that purpose. So I could do something like that again, but I'll probably do a Suburban. Probably. Not 100% sure, but probably. Megan's in the house. Woot woot. Hey, Craig, there you go. Hello, Megan. Triforce Rich says, in 35 years, I'll be able to say I have over 40 years experience listening to Craig Shipp. Therefore, I'm an expert at everything. There you go. That's right. Absolutely. And 35 years will go pretty quick. You'll be surprised. Lance is in the house. Send an email to the Cellini. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at the Cellini. It's kind of a little bit funky looking, the case. Kind of the shape of it is just a little bit funky looking. So I'd probably pass, but it's not a terrible price, right? Is that a deployant class? That's kind of funky looking. Everything's a little bit funky looking here. Isn't that something? That's kind of strange looking. Interesting. Why couldn't they have just put like a more of a standard shape, like oyster type shape case? Why do they have to get funky with it? Kind of make it kind of squared off like that. And I just gonna go for the funky stuff. I guess somebody will like it. Somebody will like it. Cheatdown says, Megan's here. Yeah. Let's see here. And Lexus has Mark and Levinson sound system, and this is a big plus. Okay. Well, I think most high-end sedans like the LS 460, they're going to always have a good sound system. I mean, there's no getting around that. They don't mess around. They're pretty good. Even my Toyota has the high-end sound system in it. It was an option. Mine is fully optioned up. So, yeah, it has a really good sound system in it. Megan says, how's everybody been doing? I think they've been doing great. Cheatown says, a family member of mine has a 1996 LS 400 with the Nakamichi sound system. That was a very expensive option back in the day. Yeah, there you go. Craig, what's the best bang for the buck GS? It might be the 005. It might be the 005. And so the model number on the 005 is SBGN005. SBGN005. And of course, that's the 002 on the screen. But that might be the best bang for the buck. I think it's a lot of watch for right around $3,000. I think it's a lot of watch. Very versatile, screw down crown, GMT function, really good looking. So that probably be my best bang for the buck, Grand Seiko. Of course, it's a 9F movement, which is also a lot of bang for the buck because you're never going to have to worry about servicing it. Let's see. Wouchy, it must be their own fiddle before Mark came. Okay, Megan, you should Skype in and tell us more about your complex life. Absolutely, she should. If she emails me, I can give her the Skype. We're going to wrap this up here pretty soon, though. We're almost up to 6 o'clock. Craig, why are most kids today obese? Because they eat a lot of junk food and they're very sedentary. That's why a lot of adults, well, most I can say, I think, isn't it up to 60% are considered obese now? If you eat a lot of junk, a lot of food that's not very nutritious, not very nutrient dense, and you're sedentary, those two things are probably going to make you obese. And that's what a lot of people do. Triforce Rich. I mean, even now with what we've got going on with this virus and everything, you see people lining up at McDonald's to put crap in their bodies, to get just absolute crap and put it in their bodies. Oh boy, I don't know what I can. I just can't help everybody, folks. I just can't. I've tried my best to help everybody, but I just can't help everybody. Let's see. Craig, will your YouTube channel preserve your teachings? Maybe you should consider having your words permanently etched upon your death so that they're never lost. Hard drives need to be archived. I think Brianna's going to continue my legacy. I think Brianna's going to continue. So there's that, and she's very young, so she'll be around a long time. Stig's in the house, and Craig belongs to the minority who knows how to drive a car with a manual transmission. Yeah, there you go. Let's see. I'm allowed to, Carlos? Duh, of course, Megan. Absolutely. Carlos says, I only hope Craig's teachings transcend this planet and are used on other planets too. Well, there you go. That's a good point. I eat whatever I can scrounge up, says Trashy Larry, and I'm fine. There you go. Deport TGV. Craig, how much Bitcoin for you to eat a bucket of KFC and drink a 2-liter of soda pop every day for a month? Oh, no. I don't think I could do that. I was going to say, at one sitting, I could probably try to pull it off for just one Bitcoin. But no, not for a month, not any price. My health is too valuable to me. And I'm not that hard up for money right now. So, yeah, probably not going to do that for a month. I probably wouldn't survive it. So, let's see. Let's see. Yeah, he's getting some congratulations for that one. Trashy Larry says, I'll do it for free. Triforce Rich says, your legacy is going to become a Lamborghini, Hermes purse, and a beach home. That is the case. Okay. All right. On that note, I think we're going to wrap this puppy up. Let's show the Lovely Breeze website. There she is eating some pizza. Well, we just missed the pizza. She was eating a slice of pizza. There she is at, these pictures right there were taken at Adventure Park, USA. Having some adventures at Adventure Park. Let's see. I agree, Carlos. Craig's teaching will allow us entry into the Galactic Federation. Craig being one of us will allow us to ascend as a species. There you go. Archie could sniff chocolate through nose. 0% calories, they say. Kentucky Colonel isn't bad once a year or so. Derek says, wait, Craig. Hey, we talked about date 8s, Derek. We talked about date 8s today. So there you go. Blue says, wait. Oh, boy. This is way too early here, Derek says. Okay. All right, folks. Thanks anyway. I'm hungry, and we'll try to do a show tomorrow, maybe with new equipment. Keep your fingers crossed. The equipment's supposed to come tomorrow, and maybe we'll do it with the new equipment. So do subscribe. Click the bell. Some people are saying they're not getting notifications. Make sure you've got that bell clicked. And Craig, do you listen to Blondie's music? I liked some of Blondie's stuff back in the day. Yeah, she had some cool stuff. So let me think what else. Subscribe to Bree and become a Patreon. Help support the lovely Lady Bree.